But from one fullback to another, Chun Hang, in the context of Spurs, we spoke about Pedro Porro. In the context of Manchester City, one fullback that just left the club is Joao Cancelo. In his first appearance for Bayern Munich, even notched an assist as well. How big of a blow is this? Because this one certainly came out of the blue, Chun Hang.
Yeah, there were many reports citing about his attitude issues when he came back from the World Cup, citing that he isn't happy with his reduced role, with the re-emergence, or I would say the emergence of Rico Lewis, another talented fullback that they have in the making. So clearly, Pep has shown his managerial side, or maybe his no-nonsense type of managerial approach, and said, you know what, we can make do without you. But honestly, Joao Cancelo has been a massive figure. In the past few years, he's been the main fullback for Manchester City for so long.
I want to touch on something that you pointed out, his reduced role. And I think this was a lot more evident after the World Cup, because if you look at Cancelo's numbers in terms of minutes that he was actually given, it's very minimal since he returned from the World Cup. And bear in mind, even at the World Cup as well, Cancelo was slightly frustrated by the fact that he got dropped for the final 2 or 3 matches by Fernando Santos. As you can see here, did not feature against Arsenal, Wolves and Tottenham. Got 90 minutes against United and Southampton and just 32 minutes against Chelsea. And I think a lot of this played a fundamental part in his desire to want to leave Man City, and he was allowed to leave. But I want to take a better understanding, Chun Hang, in terms of his impact on the pitch for Man City prior to the World Cup. We don't want to be influenced by recency bias, because the reality is, before the World Cup, he was very much a key part of this Man City sides in terms of his output, Chun Hang.
Yes, and Joao Cancelo, we categorize him as an inverted wing-back when he plays on the left. But honestly, to me, he is one of the best attacking fullbacks there is in world football at the minute. If we can take a look here, passes into the penalty area, 2.54, crosses completed, 3.17, progressive passes, 5.28, interceptions, 1.34, 3 dribbles completed, 1.97, and ball recoveries at a 5.63. And this is a team filled with superstars here. And we have to remember, Joao Cancelo ranks amongst the top 3 for all these stats. It just goes to show that he is a really, really important figure, and I think he'll be a big miss to Manchester City this season.
We've talking about the fullbacks for both sides. We've spoken about Pedro Porro, his inclusion into the Spurs team, Cancelo's absence from the Spurs team as well. Premier League returns this week, as first up we've got Spurs taking on the Citizens in the capital. How will the home side fare without Antonio Conte on the touchlines? But then we've also got a clash between Chelsea and Fulham over at Stamford Bridge. Can the visitors pull off a league double over the Blues for the first time ever? But lastly, we will wrap things up over at the Serie A as we welcome the Milan derby. All stats, predictions and more only on the Big Kickoff.